Don't respond. Don't respond. You ain't even peeped when the intro came on with the Teddy Pendergrass. That was that black fire. Don't do it. Don't go write a 8-minute verse that, I know nigga Yachty, I know you want to get that money. You ain't wrong, nigga. Keep buying them big houses, but I'm gonna tell you this like a real nigga. Ain't no more BBLs, ain't no more ass fillers, ain't no more cheek fillers.
Everyone was hyped for it. A lyrical showdown between the top rappers of today, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. In the early days, things looked pretty chill between these two giants as they featured on each other's tracks. But over time, what started as friendly competition blew up into a full-blown feud, thanks to Lamar's explosive verse on March 22nd in Future and Metro Boomin's album, We Don't Trust You. Lamar pulled no punches, throwing shade at Drake and Cole with lines like, "Yeah, get up with me, F sneak dissing. First person shooter? I hope they came with 3 switches." And didn't stop there, adding, "Think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD. F the big 3, it's just big me." Though Drake hadn't clapped back with lyrics yet, he threw some words Lamar's way during his concert in Sunrise, FLA on March 24th.
A lot of people ask me how I'm feeling. I'm gonna let you know how I'm feeling. And listen, the way I'm feeling is the same way I want you to walk out of here feeling tonight about yourself. Cause you know how I'm feeling? I got my head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go. And I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever me in my life. And that's how I want you to walk out of here tonight.
Today, we're diving into the roller coaster history of what was once a thriving and competitive relationship between Kendrick and Drake. Back in 2011, Drake really stepped up his game, moving from a divisive newcomer to a full-on superstar with his debut album. After rocking the charts with his Thank Me Later campaign, people wondered if he could push his music even further. Take Care was his big yes to all the doubters, as he returned to the vibes that made So Far Gone, bringing some major names along for the ride, including the up-and-coming Kendrick Lamar. Fresh off his Section 8 buzz, Lamar was being talked up as the next big thing from the West Coast. Drake gave him a spot to shine on the Buried Alive interlude. Kendrick, feeling the boost from Drake's spotlight, dropped lines like, "So blame it on Mr. Ovoxo, the reason why I'm breathing all the vanity I know." His confidence was through the roof, clearly fired up by the nod from Drizzy. Drake reached out again to the rising star Kendrick Lamar, who had just killed it with his feature on Buried Alive. Drake later dropped some lines about this choice in his 2016 track 4 p.m. in Calabasas, where he mentioned how he pushed back on the suggestion to bring an R&B artist on tour, opting instead for Kendrick and Rocky, as Kendrick and Drake teamed up once more, this time on Kendrick's debut album. Their track Poetic Justice turned out to be a hit, climbing to number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. Unfortunately, that collaboration marked the last time Drake and Lamar worked together. After Kendrick Lamar made waves with his major label debut, Good Kid M.A. Ad City, his confidence was sky high. So high, in fact, that he called out Drake and a bunch of other rappers on Big Sean's track Control. Kendrick came in hot, challenging the likes of J. Cole, Meek Mill, Drake, Big Crit, Whale, Pusha T, A$AP Rocky, Tyler, The Creator, Mac Miller, Big Sean, and Jay Electronica. He went hard saying, "I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you guys, trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you guys. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb from you guys." Drake brushed off Kendrick's call-out when he was featured on the cover of Billboard that month, commenting, "I didn't really have anything to say about it. It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know good and well that Kendrick isn't murdering me at all in any platform. So when that day comes, we can talk about it again." Kendrick kept the pressure on at the 2013 BT Hip Hop Awards, where he and his crew TDE hit the stage. Over the Shook Ones beat, Kendrick took some shots. Nothing's been the same since they dropped
I hate y'all, I do anything to replace y'all. Shout out to Face Mob, a ghetto boy till I'm unemployed with a day job. And kicking boxes, I kick ass and then kick knowledge. I'm way more polished than 99% of the scholars you thought had graduated.
Drake talked about his response to Kendrick on The Language, and why he felt it was important to hold his ground against the Compton MC. Drake explained, "The whole thing turned into an issue when I was dropping an album, and that verse was all anyone could talk about. So, what was I supposed to do? Pretend we're all good? Just to be clear, I've never said he's a bad guy or that I don't like him. I actually think Kendrick is a freaking genius, but I had to stand my ground. And then I realized I was being baited, and I wasn't about to take the bait. It's like Michael Jordan doesn't need to play street ball to prove he's got game. No disrespect, but I'm not about to let this shake me. I feel great, and really, there's no issue here. During this time, Kendrick and Drake were throwing shade at each other in their tracks. Kendrick called out Drake's ghostwriting rumors in King Kunta with lines like, "I can dig rapping, but a rapper with a ghostwriter? What the F happened?" Drake hit back in the game's 100 inches with, "I would have all of your fans if I didn't go pop and I stayed on some conscious S." Kendrick didn't stop there. He kept the heat coming on Dr. Dre's Compton album. He took more shots in Dark Side Gone and Deep Water, with the latter having some intense lines. They liable to bury him. They nominated 6 to carry him. They worry him to death. But he's no vegetarian. The beef is on his breath. Inheriting the drama better than a great white. This is life in my aquarium. So what kicked off the latest beef between these two? It all started with a nod towards unity, surprisingly enough. Last October, Drake dropped his 8th album, For All the Dogs, featuring a track with J. Cole called Person Sh00ter. In his verse, Cole tossed out the idea that he, Drake, and Kendrick were the big 3 of today's hip-hop scene, rapping, "Love when they argue the hardest MC? Is it K. Dot? Is it Aubrey? Or me? We the big 3, like we started a league." The track shot straight to the top of the US singles chart, marking Drake's 13th and Cole's first #1 hit. This feat put Drake on par with Michael Jackson for the most #1 singles by a male solo artist. A week later, Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer knocked them off the top spot, and it seemed like the moment was over. But Kendrick was quietly taking notes, and he wasn't pleased. Fast forward to March 2024, Metro Boomin and rapper Future dropped their album, We Don't Trust You. Tucked away in the track list was a bombshell track called Like That, featuring an uncredited verse by Kendrick, and it was a firestorm. Kendrick unleashed a barrage of tightly packed, expletive-filled lines, targeting Cole's Big 3 claim, snapping back with no Big 3, it's just Big Me. He dismissed Drake and Cole's best verses as a light pack, and boldly positioned himself as the Prince to Drake's Michael Jackson. The intensity of Kendrick's verse is something you have to hear to fully grasp, but it peaks with him vowing to bury all of Drake and J. Cole's dogs in the pet cemetery. A clever twist playing on the title of Stephen King's horror novel, and a dig at Drake's album title. It's also interesting to note where Kendrick's verse landed. Metro Boomin, who once worked closely with Drake, produced the majority of Drake's 2015 album, What a Time to Be Alive. However, their relationship soured after a promised sequel fell through, allegedly causing some tension. By 2022, Metro had cut Drake from a track and even unfollowed him on Instagram. Did Drake throw in the towel? No way. Drake seemed to clap back at Kendrick during a concert in Florida, firing up the crowd with a defiant message. He told the audience that a lot of people ask him how he's feeling. His head is up high and he's standing tall. According to him, there's no one on this planet who can take him down. Was that the end of it? Of course not. 2 weeks later, J. Cole jumped into the fray with his response on a track called 7-Minute Drill from his surprise album, Might Delete Later. In the song, Cole spits, "I got a phone call. They say that somebody dissing. You want some attention? It come with extensions." He's still doing shows but fell off like The Simpsons. He goes on to critique Kendrick's albums, calling his debut a classic, but slamming his latest, a double album called Mr. Morale and The Big Steppers, as tragic. Cole raps about Kendrick's and his own careers, saying, "Your third was massive and that was your prime. I was trailing right behind and I just now hit mine. Push come to shove on this mic, I will humble him." Did J. Cole stick to his guns? Not exactly. Right after dropping 7-Minute Drill, Cole admitted at the Dreamville Festival in North Carolina that the track was a mistake. He apologized for the song, praised Lamar's work, and sought forgiveness. He told the crowd,
Right? So I'm so proud of that project, except for one part. It's one part of that shit that make me feel like, man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I gotta keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened two, 3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded, I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime, boom, 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 right? Niggas wanna see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about my peers, these two niggas that I just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace.
Promising to remove the track from streaming platforms, he said he'd take the consequences if Lamar decided to retaliate, echoing the sentiment from his 2013 song Crunch Time. Only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin. Will Drake keep this beef alive even when everyone else is over it? Yep, like a true rap instigator, he tried to fan the flames again. On April 13th, Drake dropped a track called Push-Ups, Drop and Give Me 50, throwing some low blows about Kendrick Lamar's height, calling him a midget, Kendrick's 5 FT4 in tall, and labeling him a record label puppet who has to team up with pop stars. He threw some shade like, Maroon 5 needs a verse, you better make it witty, then we need a verse for the Swifties. He didn't stop there, questioning Kendrick's spot in the rap game and suggesting other artists have passed him by. Pipsqueak, Pipe Down, You Ain't in No Big 3, SCA got you wiped down, Travis got you wiped down, Savage got you wiped down. He even name-dropped Future, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross in the song. Did anyone else respond? Like maybe Drake's mom? Funny enough, yes. Right after Drake's track hit, Rick Ross clapped back with his own song, Champagne Moment, where he claimed Drake had some plastic surgery done. Think nose job, fake abs, and even a Brazilian butt lift. The gossip got so big that Drake's mom texted him to check if it was true. Drake shared their text convo on Instagram, marking the moment this rap feud turned a bit too stale. On April 21st, Kanye West jumped into the fray, siding with Kendrick Lamar. He released a remix of Like That where he took shots at Drake's major label deal, suggesting Drake got a raw deal. Kanye also took a swipe at Drake and J. Cole's lyrical skills, dropping the line, "Y'all so out of sight, out of mind, I can't even think of a Drake line." Meanwhile, Drake was busy trying to provoke Lamar into hitting back, releasing another diss track of his own. The track, named Taylor Made Freestyle, hinted that Lamar was too scared to drop music the same week as Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department. To add more fuel to the fire, Drake used artificial intelligence to mimic two of Lamar's idols, Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg, in the track. After complaints from Shakur's estate, Drake had to pull the song from his social media. What was Kendrick's comeback? He unleashed a 6-minute tirade at the end of April called Euphoria, nodding to the HBO series Drake produces. It was basically a laundry list of gripes against Drake. Kendrick slammed Drake as predictable, a master manipulator, and an habitual liar. He even echoed Rick Ross's jab about Drake's fake abs and questioned Drake's parenting skills. But Kendrick's main point? He really didn't like Drake. He laid it out plainly. Let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. Also, a hint at the late DMX saying from one of his interviews. Drake's reply? He posted a screenshot from the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, comparing Kendrick's rant to the teenage poetry recited in the film. Kendrick Lamar's new track Euphoria goes all out against Drake, stacking up insults left and right. He digs at everything from Drake's Canadian roots, implying Tupac would be turning in his grave, to Drake's role as a father, and even hits on the plastic surgery rumors and Drake's controversial dating choices. The song's title, Euphoria, even nods to Drake's role as executive producer on the HBO series of the same name, which has faced criticism for its portrayal of young girls. This song adds to the long history of rap beefs and diss tracks, and there's a lot to digest here. Following Lamar's release, we've seen some insights from hip-hop journalists and culture critics. The energy of Euphoria has been widely praised, even though Lamar took his time responding. Drake's push-ups and tailor-made freestyle were solid efforts, but they didn't pack the punch of Like That or Euphoria. This comeback was definitely worth the wait. Some folks from the music industry also lauded Kendrick's timing, calling him hip-hop's reigning boogeyman. What's impressive about Euphoria is its pure rap for over 6 minutes, just straight bars. At the end of the day, this is what a rap battle should be. The winner should be decided by their skill, wit, wordplay, and flow. Some pointed out that even though Euphoria might not have the best production and lacks a knockout blow, Kendrick Lamar's humor and fiery delivery really make the track stand out. He sounds like he's been waiting years to let this out. Kendrick also boldly claims he's the biggest hater, and fans are here for it. Drake has had his fair share of beefs, notably with Pusha T's brutal 2018 track, The Story of Adidon, which was a high bar for Drake disses. Pusha T used that track to expose Drake's secret child with a shocking photo of Drake in blackface. But Euphoria doesn't dish out personal secrets like Pusha T's track did. What's striking is how deep Lamar's dislike for Drake runs, something critics have picked up on and loved. This ain't about critics, not about gimmicks, not who the greatest, it's always been about love and hate. Now let me say I'm the biggest hater. Kendrick raps.
Boy, white boy, white boy. Crody, Crody, Crody. Do they even have Wi-Fi on that cargo plane? He may not even heard this yet, but look, white boy, I know we not friends, but let me give you this advice, because you ain't got nobody around you. Or you ain't got no real niggas around you. Let me just put it like that. Ain't no real niggas. Stop. Don't respond. Don't respond. You ain't even peeped when the intro came on with the Teddy Pendergrass. That was that black vibe. Don't do it. Don't go write a 8-minute verse that, I know nigga Yachty, I know you want to get that money. You ain't wrong, nigga. Keep buying them big houses. But I'm going to tell you this like a real nigga. Ain't no more BBLs. Ain't no more ass fillers. Ain't no more cheek fillers.
Rick Ross didn't really need to make a video for his Drake diss track Champagne Moments, but he went for it anyway, and used it as a chance to plug his own products. Just last week, Ross dropped a video for the diss track, which is pretty straightforward. It's just him chilling on a stool in front of a Chevy Bel Air, surrounded by the booze brands he reps. He even slipped in a poster for his 3rd annual Rick Ross car show. The video is a mix of clips showing Ross smoking, rapping his verses where he keeps calling Drake white boy, and hints at Drake having a nose job, all while zooming in on the Luke Belaire sparkling wine and Rick Ross bamboo rum bottles. This visual landed about a week after Drake clapped back with his track Push-Ups, mainly aimed at Kendrick Lamar and Metro Boomin, but with a few lines thrown at Ross for butting into the drama. Drake dropped lines like, "Can't believe he's jumping in," and every song that made it on the chart he got from Drizzy, telling Ross to spend that little check you got and stay out of my business. In the video, Ross seems to hit back at Drake's mention of him using the weight loss drug Mounjaro, also a type 2 diabetes treatment, by showing off his belly, giving it a grab, and having a good laugh about it. As the dust settles on one of hip-hop's most headline-grabbing feuds, Rick Ross couldn't resist the opportunity to toss a few lighthearted jabs at Drake, adding some extra flavor to the ongoing drama ignited by Kendrick Lamar's pointed verses. Ross's approach mixes humor with self-promotion, cleverly using his diss track Champagne Moments, not just as a vehicle for his rhymes, but also as a billboard for his own ventures, showcasing his savvy knack for blending business with beats. This entire episode showcases how rap battles have evolved from simple lyrical skirmishes to complex narratives woven with personal branding and public personas. As Rick Ross clowned around following Kendrick's serious shots at Drake, it reminded everyone that in hip-hop, even a beef can serve multiple purposes, from settling scores to selling spirits. As the curtain falls on this chapter of hip-hop's rich tradition of call-outs and comebacks, the spotlight shines on how artists like Ross turn conflict into content and controversies into opportunities, ensuring that the rap game remains as much about wits and words as it is about rhythm and rhymes.